friends. Okay, so I need to share my mug with you because I think it's such an important reminder this time of year. Don't get your tinsel in a tangle. I got this at Target probably 3 or 4 years ago, and I love this mug because isn't it a time of year when we could easily get stressed out by all the things we think we need to do? And so I think this is a really wonderful reminder. I'm sure you can guess what tea I am drinking right now. Okay, so I wanted to hop on here for a couple of minutes and just talk a little bit, have a little chat. So what have I done today? I've done more cleaning. That's just the life of a homemaker. There's always cleaning to do, always laundry that needs washed. There's always something to be done, and honestly, I love it. I mean, I don't always love the tasks I do over and over again, but as a whole, I would not want to be doing anything else with my life. I am so appreciative that I can be a stay-at-home mom and a homemaker full-time, and not that I don't ever miss my job as a barista, because I miss that. I miss the people there. I miss the customers that, would come in every day and I would get to talk to and hear about their lives. I miss that. And I actually really like making coffee too. So that was just a really good job. But, well, my kids are still at home, and while I can, I'm just going to take advantage of the opportunity I have to be at home full time. So I did some cleaning and stuff this morning. We're actually having some friends over this afternoon and evening for dinner. I'm making zuppa toscana. I make it dairy-free using like a coconut milk base. And Ian and I were out this morning, so we stopped and got a loaf of bread at a local bakery. I do bake sourdough, but that is the way I do it. I typically I feed my starter around dinner time, and then by bedtime it's ready for me to mix up into the dough, and then I'll let it do its first rise through the night. I'll wake up the next morning, I will knead it and stretch it, and then I will put it in the bowl and I'll let it do its second rise, and then I'll bake it. So I don't have time to do that. I didn't need to bake the bread yesterday, or would have started it yesterday and would have had a fresh loaf for dinner tonight, but we had a little bit left, and then I knew my friend was coming over, but we hadn't planned on doing supper as well together. And then I got this idea this morning. I asked her if she and her husband and their daughter would just want to stay for dinner. So they're coming over. So we went to a local bakery and got a loaf of bread that was just made this morning. So it'll be wonderful, I'm sure. I won't be able to eat it, but I don't eat my sourdough either. That's just for the benefit of my family. So I wanted to show you. By the way, I am sorry. So this shawl I have on right now, this is the campside shawl. Campside is either the campfire or the campside shawl by Alicia Plumer. And I keep forgetting to mention what I'm wearing when I am wearing hand knits, and I have people ask me. And so I had someone ask me if I would be able to just mention real quick what I'm wearing, like the pattern I'm wearing. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to go back a couple of days ago when I wore this sweater. This is the ranunculus, and it is knit with fingering weight sock yarn that was given to me as a gift, and it came without a label, so I don't know. That's what the variegated is. And then the Surrey alpaca is from my friend Jody, Flower Hill Fleeces. That's from her shop. So that's the ranunculus. And then I think it was that same day, I was wearing a shawl that people were asking about, and that was my Color Cray shawl by Tammy Gore. That's this one. And I've talked about both of these recently. This was featured in my Scrappy episode that I just did. It's my favorite shawl ever. It really is. I wear this one the most of all my shawls. This is probably the second one I wear the most. And this is, I forget what the yarn is, Shabui knits. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I won this yarn and the pattern in a giveaway years ago. It was years ago. I don't even remember when I made this shawl. Yeah, and actually I sat on the yarn quite a while before I even made the shawl. So I have this sweater vest that I wear, and I think I wore it in my Scrappy episode, and I had so many people asking me what the pattern was. That was actually a store-bought sweater vest. I bought that at TJ Maxx, and I bought it in the early fall, but it is super cozy, super comfy, gives just the right amount of warmth to wear in the house without overheating. So I wear that often. In fact, I was going to wear it again today, and then I realized it was in the wash. So, bummer. But anyway, it is very rainy out and damp, and it's not cold out. It's in the 40s, but I think whenever the rain combines with the chilly air, I just feel so cold. And so I'm really appreciating this tee and having a warm shawl and this cardigan, which is not hand knit. I also bought this. Okay, I'm not going to show you my Christmas socks because I haven't worked on them really much today at all. I just put like a couple rounds on this morning. Although I will say, so Lily, Brad, and I went for that ride last night in the car to look at Christmas lights, and I was knitting on those socks in the dark, and which is normally fine, but I found a hole in them today, and it looks like it should be a drop stitch, but when I'm looking at it, I can't find a drop stitch. So I'm like, well, okay, that's interesting. I'm going to wait until I'm all done with those socks, and then I'm going to get a little bit of that color. It was in the mint stripe. I'm going to get a little bit of the mint yarn and just kind of seam it shut. It's on the bottom of the foot, so it's not going to show, but it was probably 20 rows back, and I was not going to unwind all of it. To me, I don't stress out about that kind of stuff. Okay, so I started another project this morning. This is actually a prayer shawl that I'm knitting for someone, and I know who this one's going to, and I wasn't planning on starting this, but when I heard what was going on in this person's life, I thought instantly, like, I need to knit her a prayer shawl. So I casted this on this morning, and I'm using the pattern The Age of Brass and Steam. I think that pattern is free, and I think it comes in a kerchief size as well as a shawl size. So I'm using a yarn from Hobby Lobby. Did I bring in? I don't think I brought in this. Rustic Romance. Yeah, I think this is Hobby Lobby. I think it's Yarn Bee Rustic Romance. That's the brand, or that's the base. And then the color is Red Rhodes, I'm pretty sure. I thought I brought the band in, but I'm not seeing it anywhere, so I must not. But these are size 10, and I wanted it to be nice and drapey, so I went up to a size 10. I have to say, I usually use ChowGoo needles, and I love them. I have an interchangeable ChowGoo set that I think I just got that last year, and I absolutely love that set. But like I said, the size 7s are all, and I only have one long cable with that set, and it is currently with a project on it. So I cast on with these, I think these are Addies, and these cables this cable was driving me crazy. It was like flipping every which way. It's like flip-flopping all around, and I knew if I just persevered and got to where the project was like covering the majority of the needle cable, then I would be okay and it would stabilize it. But that's what I love about those ChowGoo needles and the cable that runs between them. It has like no memory, so it doesn't get all curled up and stayed curled up. Like those cables are so nice. It's like they're magical cables. So I was casting these on, because this is a garter tab cast on, so you literally start with like 7 stitches, and it went really fast because it is worsted weight yarn. But it was just, I was like, oh man, this cable's driving me nuts. But anyway, that is what this is, and I was in the mood to knit with red, and I just felt like this person needed a red shawl, so that's why I went with this yarn. My friend actually just picked up some yarn for me from Hobby Lobby, because ours is like an hour and 15 minutes away, and it's not the easiest to get to because I have to go down through the city, through the tunnels to the other side, which that highway over there is often congested. I don't mind driving in traffic. I don't mind driving in the city, but for me to drive an hour and 15 minutes, and it would probably be even longer now because they're doing some heavy construction down on this side of the city. So I'm just like, my friend was going to her parents to visit her parents, and there's a Hobby Lobby a few minutes from their house. So she said, what do you need? And I sent her a list, and they were having their 30% off sale last week. So she brought me my bag of yarn to church on Sunday, which perfect timing, because when I did all of those prayer lap gans, I used up almost my entire stash of prayer shawl yarn because I only buy acrylic or like wool and acrylic mixes because I want them to be machine washable so people don't have to worry about felting them or hand washing them. And so I was super appreciative that Kathy picked up that yarn for me because now I have enough to make 3 shawls. So that'll keep me busy for a little while. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and go because I have a few things to do. I want to actually make my soup now. It's about 1 o'clock. I like to make my soups early in the afternoon and then I let them kind of simmer. They get a lot more flavor that way. They kind of thicken up a little bit, but I want to get that started. Brad's actually working in the office today, so he probably won't even be getting home until 6 or a little after. So we'll be eating dinner a little bit later than we normally do. I'm not sure how much I'll actually film because, you know, these, not everybody's comfortable with being on the internet. So I don't know that I'll film a whole lot for the rest of the day, but I wanted to jump on here and say hello to everyone. And thank you guys all for your just interaction with me. It's been fantastic. And it's just so greatly appreciated. It's fun. It's fun. I feel like I know you guys and I don't know you other than through like the internet, but it's a really cool thing. So, okay. Yeah, I'm going to go get to work making my soup.